Okay, everybody, how we doing, folks? OG Geo here. You can call me Geo, and I am with my good friend tonight. It is my distinct honor to be joined live via satellite from the Mideast. Transformer, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm doing really well. Hey, Gio.
And when I say Mideast, I mean Mideast, Georgia, just so we don't get that confused at all. So, what has happened here? I know this is going to come as a great shock to everybody. I'm very surprised. But the teams have decided to start the picks and bans 10 minutes early. So what we're going to do right now is very quickly hit the map screen. And Trans, what I would love it, if you don't mind, is if you'll start sort of laying the groundwork about this matchup. I'm going to start plugging in the picks and bans here in the map overview screen. How's that sound? We have got, tonight, folks, we've got Fat Banshee versus ProBUs. And they're not body shaming. That means they're a free agent team. So, Trans, take it from there while I start filling in some of the map picks and bans here, would you?
Yeah, for sure. So, ProBUs, very strong team. They've had a strong showing so far this season. They, I believe, have only lost one of their matches, and that's to the um, Los
Popachas. Yeah,
Popachos.
I've heard of them.
Yeah,
I've heard of them.
they are a monster of a team. ProBUs. They got a lot of really good players. They've got a pretty deep hero pool, so it's going to be tough to ban them out. They've been favoring some tanks, particularly Blaze. They've seen Diablo is good, I think, for both teams. But ProBUs has a pretty deep presence in Heroes Lounge. Played against them a couple of times myself. They're good folk, real strong. Fat Banshee, free agent team. So there's not a lot of history on them in Heroes Lounge. But they've also had a pretty good showing so far. They had up to a couple of ranged assassins that have been giving them some really good win rates. Tassadar and Raynor, both of those huge damage turrets are really good for them.
Sorry,
So
Trans, the lobby's open, so you should be able to join on me.
Awesome. I will be jumping in right now.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good, man. Cool. I expect to see them try to focus on those reliable DPS and then fill in kind of the blanks where they see fit. I think they have a good shot at they're the hopeful underdog here, I would say, but I definitely don't expect this to be a smashing. I think it's going to be a good match between the two teams.
Yeah, on paper, it's Probe's match. ProBUs has only lost to Los Popachos, who has lost to nobody. ProBUs has beaten two teams that have beaten Fat Banshee. But the game isn't played on paper. It's just not.
Right.
It really is. Any team, any night can go out there. This game is so dependent on drafts and synergy and, what a team wants to do to another, what they plan on a map, what kind of comp they bring, and how it works against what the other team does. So you gotta play the match.
100%. And these free agent teams, because they don't have a deep history in the competitive scene, I see a lot of them spike hard at the end of the season as they start to kind of get into the groove of competitive play. So we could see them come together and, get, as you were saying, that really great synergy. All it takes is one or two really good team fights to determine a game or series. Momentum swings pretty wild in this game, and if they get the right draft, get the right picks, I think we could definitely see a match. But
Always.
ProBUs isn't going to give it to them. Like, ProBUs is going to make them fight for it if they want it. If they want the win.
They are. I think I'm certain that they are not happy about that Los Popachos game.
No.
They got 2-0'd.
Yeah.
So it should be mentioned, by the way, that ProBUs did not have Ogle in that match. Ogle, one of the top players in the division. Ogle, some very interesting drama. He was the target of quite a bit of consternation over in NGS. He was a late add to a team that did extremely well after he joined the team. I'm not gonna comment at all. I'll say this: it was a legal ad, so I'm not in any way inferring that there's anything wrong with the ad. I'm saying factually, he took a lot of flack. He had to hear a lot of complaining. And I feel like the guy has got to be playing with absolute joy and abandon in this league where he gets to just play at his level and not hear some junk maybe about how it's not fair, right? You know what I mean?
For sure.
Not hear some sour grapes about it. Rightfully or not is not the issue. So I think now I don't see him yet tonight. Based on this lineup that I'm looking at, usually Irby is the healer, so it looks like Ogle is not playing tonight either. Based on what I'm looking at. Well, yeah, there's Irby, so he's not in the lineup for game one. While I was getting set up, I didn't hear if you covered a little bit about maps. The first map is Cursed Hollow. Looking at the bans, Fat Banshee might want to look at taking Alterac. They did not yet, and it's not banned. Probes. The probes are great on both Battlefield of Eternity and Infernal Shrines. They're 100% on both of those. Both of those maps still open. So that's actually very good for them. If they have any problem in the first match and they want to, they can go map pick second match, and they're very strong in both of those.
Yes. And those are very teamfight centric maps, where I think
good point.
The mechanical skill of ProBUs shines in those like high action, sustained, long fights where they can eke out edges, use some of their like poke heroes, use some of their mechanical ability to retch out a good advantage. Curse Hollow is an interesting one. Because you can play it from a macro perspective where you try to manipulate the map, less focused on the objectives and get advantages there, or you can just try to smash them over the head over the objectives and win it straight. So it's going to be interesting if they take a more traditional approach, or if both teams just want to duke it out like two men in the battlefield.
The heavyweights. So, do you remember who they lost the match? But do you remember who ProBUs took to that Towers of Doom against Los Popo? Remember who they like to play? That would be very strong on Cursed Hollow. They play a strong Abathur.
They do, and Abathur is really, really good on Cursed. I would not be surprised to see it there.
I wouldn't either.
The macro pressure from Abathur is extreme.
Absolutely, and they play him well. I think it's Majesty, I believe, is who plays the Abathur for them. And I mean, he's such a skilled player. I don't know any of the players from Fat Banshee. Have you played them? So by the way, folks, Transformer plays for Annie Oak League, so he's in Div 3.
Yes.
Have you played against Fat Banshee?
Oh.
Do you have any experience with them?
Don't recall. I don't think we played them this season.
Okay. All right.
I don't think so.
Well, then this is awkward. Okay, so neither of us knows anything. No, I mean, it's listened until we see the teams a couple of times. You got to get a feel for it. But we're into the draft, my friend. Whoops.
We were into the draft.
We were into the draft. We are out of the draft.
So it's tough with these.
So they had the first pick is set wrong in the lobby, probably because we asked to switch teams. Switch sides.
Got to match the overlay.
Well, actually, they're supposed to upload it that way anyway. I don't know if it matters for the system, but yeah, it definitely helps the casters. Love your casters, people. If you want your matches cast, pay attention to who's left side, right side, and don't start matches 10 minutes early because it freaking destroys us. Destroys me, at least. Okay, let's talk about... That's on the league rules, but yeah.
Caster's never wrong. The DM is never wrong.
Yeah. So they're gonna get it switched up and get the first pick correct. I think that the first... Actually, it's... First pick is Team 1. Right?
I think they fixed it.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yep.
So let's talk a second about the draft before we head in. The heroes that these teams want to get, it looks like from past matches, Banshee wants to get Tassadar and Raynor. And we're heading back into the draft now, folks. Probes, they're looking good with Ana, May, Orphea, Blaze. All very solid for them. I don't know, but I'm only seeing three little spots there to ban trans. I don't think they have
there's
4 bans.
Like I was saying, the ProBUs folks, their hero pool is deep enough to where it's hard to ban them out. I think May is going to be a high priority ban. Her zone control is absolutely incredible, and this map is full of those tight corridors that you cannot fight through if May exists on the map. Like, you just die. But Blaze is also really good into those tight corridors. Those oil spills are delicious. They will wreck your team if you sit in them.
So Probes has played Blaze 9 games, right? I believe it's 9 games they have played him.
Yeah, with a really high win rate.
77, 78%. Yeah. Then again, if you win all your matches, then most of your heroes have a high win rate. So right away, the Garrosh Blaze ban comes out, so that's pretty typical. So against Fat Banshee, teams are banning out Garrosh, Tassadar, and Joe. So you see the Garrosh right away.
Right.
Against Probes, typically are banned May and Deckard. May gets through. But they may maybe they'll first pick her over on Banshee. The Ana ban is good, and ETC is not somebody that typically gets banned a lot against. So there's the Deckard pick. May Deckard is still really available. Strong. Yeah. So you sort of pick to ban there. And as we said by the math, there were 4 people you don't want to see ProBUs get, and they just got 2 of them, right? And there's not a lot you're going to do about that. Johanna is a favorite of... sorry, go ahead.
No, Johanna is a really good tank to be picking into the May. You're relying on that Unstoppable to get you through May's initial burst of cooldowns.
All right. So it gives you the opportunity to walk away from whatever she's doing. You don't get locked down and burst down.
Exactly. May's cooldowns are on basically a 14-second rotation. So Johanna kind of rules out that front to back type playstyle that's really popular, trying to kill the tank. Johanna's kind of just nopes her way out of there.
I haven't heard that, and I love it. Nopes her way out. How do you feel about KT? I was surprised when your team drafted KT in a match last night. KT has come back, right? The deal with KT for a while is, you can only play him against bad teams. Good teams don't. But I've seen him coming back into lower level play.
So there's always something to be said about an assassin that brings crowd control. And Kael'thas is the only ranged assassin in the game that has a stun. And he has an AoE stun if you trait the twisting nether send people into the sky ability that I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Blaze,
the twisty
really
thing.
Strong.
Of course, it's called the twisty thing, I think.
Cassio, really strong. This is a monster draft.
Yeah, Cassie is another that people try to ban. They've got the comfort pick with the Blaze. 8-Bit loves Blaze. I love to see 8-Bit on Blaze because otherwise he ends up on Artanis and I want to put my head into a door and slam it. So I'm happy.
Falstad for the global.
Okay.
Boss control from the Falstad looks really strong.
I love the Malthael pick because I like good play on Malthael because I can't.
Yeah.
I thought I was a strong Malthael until I got into Division 3 play and I was like, oh no, I'm terrible. I think he's just high enough skill cap. I have a lot of respect for people who play him well, and he can do a lot for you. he can hit on a Cassia
Ooh.
or an Orphea and hunt people that we do not see Whitemane much.
White,
Because of the
Whitemane
lack
is,
of CC, but you have plenty of that, right?
yes. So you got the big stuns from Blaze. You got the slows from Orphea and May and Blaze. You got three initiates if Cassia takes Valkyrie. You can initiate with Blaze, May, or the Cassia Valkyrie. So Whitemane's chilling. She is protected by a beefy front line and some huge raw damage. But like, this is a map that is often won on boss fights. So a big encounter over a boss in Falstad swoops in with a good gust, like that can swing a game.
Both drafts are pretty dynamic and exciting. Like so we're going to introduce the teams, and I want to talk about like what it is they're trying to do. Quick mention to say to Rip the Jacker, thank you so much for the sub. I don't deserve you at all, and I appreciate you very much. I appreciate you every bit as much as I do not deserve you. So let's get into the game here and introduce the teams. And Trans, your job is to remind me to once in a while check in on the damage here. So on the left side in the blue trunks, we have Fat Banshee, a team put together through free agency that's now battling in the upper mid for a playoff spot. We have Kian on Falstad, Jaren on Kel'Thas, Zagi on Deckard, MBB on Johanna, and Wrecked on Malthael, which he will try to get them. And Trans, who have we got in the red trunks?
All right, so in the red trunks, we got 8-Bit on Blaze, Sage on the Orphea. We've got Majesty on Cassia, Veggies on May, and Irby on Whitemane.
That was Irby on Whitemane, affectionately known to his team as Arby's. And here we go in the phase, which I like to call blow all your mana for nothing. And you can tell already how good these teams are because they didn't. They did not run out there. They did not cast a single ability, right? They just attacked the minions. And you say, oh, folks, we got some teams who know what they're doing here.
Yeah. So I think our folks in blue correctly identified that their level 1 was not worth taking a swing at ProBUs' level 1. They didn't want to give potential stacks to Cassia, not knowing if she was going to go Q build or not. Using their global Falstad, getting him in lane already so that he didn't have to use his Z. And Malthael's just chilling, clearing lanes safely. Like, he's doing the smart thing, taking no risks.
So, excellent point. And for the folks out there like me who are still trying to improve their play, lower level folks, right, trying to get better, listen to what Trans is saying. Fight for a reason, fight for a purpose, and fight knowing that you have a good opportunity to win that fight, right? Don't just fight because they are there. You cannot play this game like, why did you climb Mount Everest? It's not going to go well for you.
Now we see Deckard starting to pot up that siege cannon he's taken himself. I think he's just laying the groundwork so that KT
getting a head start for the KT, right?
Yeah. Malthael's slowly chipping away at Blaze, but it's kind of a stalemate matchup right there.
Probably going for bruisers.
Oh yeah,
that's an early bruisers,
really smart,
right?
Actually, yep, it is, and they already siege.
That's right. Siege already pushing bot. Falstad takes a little damage there. He takes a little damage there. Transin has to back up a little. He can get burned down very quickly against that Orpheus, so he's got to play extremely safely. And you're right. Yep. So far, Malthael is getting the better end of the trades here. Oh, I missed it. Did she get the Falstad?
Nails. Yeah.
I was looking top lane, and just after I said he has to be really careful, he went down immediately. Now, this phase in the game...
trying to set up a game on top. Malthael's slippery, though. Blaze with a stun.
He's going to go down here. Oh, why did he go back? He went back. He was out.
Got greedy. He wanted the Blaze dead. He wanted to trade 1-for-1.
Yep.
Now he gets 1 for nothing.
What that did is now you're looking at... I was just going to say it's early. You know, there's not really that much harm. You're going to get back in time for the objective. But look at the XP lead. Almost a full level. So you're going to have 7 for ProBUs early, and that's a big deal.
Yep. Falstad uses Global to get into this fight and prepared.
Yep.
But
Saved it.
Yep. Got the Bruiser singular, or the Siege Giant up top, but the Bruiser is still pushing mid.
Both teams have camps pushing.
Fights.
And we see a little bit of engage, still a bit of poke. That's a good stun
hot
there.
damage on the Cassia.
That's exactly the stun from the KT that you spoke about. Falstad's in trouble, and he goes down.
Popping off with hot damage.
And Deckard's running for his life. Oh, Cassie is going to get that Malthael too. Oh, he went back, and he almost got her. And he gets out.
Yep. Some of the close not kills are going to translating in kills once Malthael gets to level 10. Cassie
Absolutely.
Against that damage. Execute.
Absolutely. So the first objective does go over to ProBUs, and they have 3 kills to none right now, and they're looking comfortable. What do you want to see from Fat Banshee? Are you worried about anything at this point? Do they come online a little bit later?
So
oh boy, that's gonna be trouble
big.
for Joe. That's gonna. Wow. Okay. Thank goodness for Iron Skin.
She
Sorry
just needs
to
the
interrupt
heart
you.
before this objective. No, you're good. Banshee's taking their Bruiser camp. At
Yeah,
a
I
good
like that.
time, they're gonna activate it. The ProBUs not getting the Siege Giants that just spawned, but I think they're prioritized.
Still even talent tiers. I could almost see ProBUs. Yeah, they're not gonna get 10 for this objective, obviously, but it looks like Fat Banshee is content to give.
Yes,
They're gonna
ProBUs
give,
was there early and prepared.
and there again, folks, there are many opportunities to feel like things are desperate in a match. Rarely are they. So it's still very early, and Banshee wisely just gives and says, we've got plenty of time in this game. We don't want to let them snowball. So they just let ProBUs have that and look for their next opportunity. Unfortunately, Trans, the next objective is it. I can't stand if I'm blue team trying to go for this objective. I almost always vote to give if we can.
Yes,
That is a
and they are
terrible
going
position.
into heroics.
Yep.
It's a bad spot on the map. It's highly favorable to the red team just because of that objective.
Oh, but they do catch the May. It's May, but they've caught her. They have time, and they just didn't have any damage to speak of. I was surprised with that. Joe flanking, but that leaves her exposed, and now the back line's getting hunted down by ProBUs.
Yep.
KT's in real trouble here.
Joe tries to save him, but catches no traction.
That split there hurt the back line, and ProBUs able to isolate and pick off without the Joe there to protect them. And ProBUs leaves the tribute and goes for the boss.
Yep, they're setting it up so that just that's going to be devastating. Malthael will have a really hard time clearing that boss.
That's a gutsy, some might say a greedy call, but they
so
know what
10.
they're doing.
They're going in. Malthael can last rights.
They're going to get that
dead,
Orphea.
Right?
Nope. She stays alive.
No,
Unbelievable.
Oh, he's skulls. Oh, never mind. Wrong.
Joe running for her life. Malthael is still doing damage back there, Trans. And I believe May just went down to Deckard. Malthael did a lot of work there, Trans, before he went down.
Yeah, the rest of the team was caught and busy.
Oh, are they going to get? Are they going to get Whiteman? Almost.
Whiteman is old and mad. Blaze is hiding there in the bush.
What does he want to do? Is he just going to try and delay, and is he going to die for it? Orpheus
He's
still.
going to poke.
Yeah.
Blaze's bunker is off cooldown, so he can just use it for free.
Deckard gets left.
Deckard
gets left, and he's going to die for that. They chased down, the damage dealers chased down and left Deckard alone. And
can't leave your old man alone.
You gotta walk across the street. I guess after you saw him just single-handedly take down, was it Orphea? Or no, May, they thought he didn't need any help. And there goes Kalthas, and ProBUs is so far strongly in control of this with 8 kills to 1. They have the first objective. They have still only a 1-level lead. And that's good. Banshee has that going for them.
Yes, they're gonna try to get their 13s with the curse is gonna push all of them. So they're probably gonna try to look to get that soak safely. Try to get more deaths. They shouldn't lose any keeps from this, so they'll just be down the forts, which yields map control. They find a way. Oh, and look at this on the bottom. ProBUs is going for that gank. Orphea's going mad.
Yeah, I thought he might get out. He got out. He got out. That Malthael is slippery. That's twice I thought he didn't have a chance that he made it out. Well done.
Amazing.
Well done.
That's without his level 30. Cool.
Still a great
That's just some good. Yeah, good gank setup.
We're getting some, we're losing your audio from time to time, Trance. So you do me a favor and let's try killing your webcam and make sure that we have full, bandwidth for your dulcet tones there. I'd rather hear you than see you. Wait, what? Just kidding. I'm kidding.
I've got a great face for radio.
No, I'd rather hear you and see you, but all things considered, I want your expertise, so.
Yep, webcam is off.
Awesome. I think it's already a little bit better. Maybe
ProBUs is picking up their siege. I think Fat Banshee is going to be looking at their bruisers soon. They're in the vicinity, and it's a good time to start taking those.
Yeah, this is what they can do, right? Is they can try and take their camps. There's still not quite enough map pressure to drive them back from their camps. So, my gosh, if they sense that ProBUs is on their bruisers, they might go for their boss. I don't know if that's too greedy.
May is definitely scouting at the boss.
Yeah.
She knows what's up. Her run is really high, and she can kind of get out of anything. She's the samurai of tanks. She has many abilities. Just kind of let her not give a hoot about what's going on around her and just walk away.
Right.
And ProBUs is going for their boss.
Yeah, they sure are. They get to do whatever they want right now. The teams are on even talent tiers, right? And you're even again on the objective. But ProBUs really just feels confident right now. They're playing as if they have an advantage that on paper they don't necessarily have, right?
Right.
The Valkyries, I believe it's called, misses. But that's fine. That's a tough ability to hit.
And so ProBUs, when they release a boss, that threatens keep. And so if they start looking for that fight, she has two bad choices. Like, they are allowed to either fight and let the boss take their keep, or they go deal with the boss and give ProBUs map control and that boss.
Right.
So ProBUs is taking Banshee's boss now, and Banshee can do nothing about it.
Banshee's on the back foot, and Malthael better be careful here. He better be... Oh, Malthael. I know you're slippery, but I'm worried about you. You got out again. Got out again. The ice wall misses, so that helps, but Malthael does fall.
There's some really good Deckard roots. The bunker, though, so strong.
Okay,
the gust into that
they
wall.
Could turn this.
What a
they
gust.
could turn this. That was a fantastic gust. If they
Some
can get the damage focused.
Stay a while and
Deckard
listen.
Cain. The old man now clutch in a couple of opportunities. I've noticed this again, that the damage dealers from Banshee there kind of peeled off. Maybe would have been better off to stay back with the healer and maybe attack those two enemies that were still by the healer, Trance.
Yes. They chased a slippery target. Cassia has innate armor, and she also has war travel selected at pains. She has an additional movement speed at all times. She gets away scot-free.
Yeah, I think they're lucky. I think they're lucky they didn't lose that Deckard. And I think if ProBUs had realized that chase was on, that they would have turned and taken that Deckard out. Deckard playing really well here. And Banshee, that was the fight they needed. I think if nothing else, even just for some confidence. They still lost the boss, but they had a good engagement. And sometimes that's what you need. They once again isolate May. ProBUs is making it across the map to try and engage, and May walks away because she's May. Thank you, chat. I was stuck on the damage screen, so I've just put it back to the talent, so I appreciate the reminder. And we have an early engage here. Joe
the
is...
damage dealers all get stunned in the back.
Oh, boy. Yeah. It looked good right up until that point, and then that was the ice wall, right? Caught them.
Yeah, the blaze stun and the ice wall clumped all of them up straight for that Cassia and that damage. It was ugly.
And, you know, Transmouthiel's getting in there, and he's doing work. He's staying alive for a long time. He's doing a lot of damage. But his backline is getting isolated, getting stunned out, so there isn't the finish.
Yes. This is the struggle playing against May, is she can slip in and disrupt your backline to such an extent, and she just lives. A lot of tanks that like really dive in, like the ETCs, if you right-click them hard enough, they die. But May doesn't, and that's why she's such a terror on the battlefield.
We talked at the outset about expecting her to be banned. Then we expected her to be picked by Banshee, and she wasn't, and she was a first pick lock-in for ProBUs, and you can see why. I don't expect her to see. I don't expect to see her for ProBUs in a game 2.
No, I expect the May to be banned. Highly prioritized by the opposition. It's easy to underestimate the strength here, though, too, because that bunker has done a lot of work protecting their team,
Absolutely.
Cleansing those Malthael marks and ignites from the chaos, and those stuns are just crushing.
You're in the middle of a fight, and suddenly everybody just gets to hide and not take any damage from you, right?
Yes.
It's just... And... comfort pick for ProBUs. They play with him all the time. There's another good gust into the wall, Trans. The stay a while follow-up is fantastic. Orpheus going to try and turn this, though, and look at that. Oh, they lined up for Orphea. They got what they wanted. Banshee got what they wanted there, and then fell into a line. Orphea flanked right around, and Sage just ulted on him, and that's a 5-man team wipe. You know, fantastic play by ProBUs and a bit heartbreaking for Banshee because Trans, you could see and feel that lined up exactly how they wanted it to, and then it turned on them in a split second. Does ProBUs finish here? Doesn't look like they're posturing to finish, but I think they can.
It's a 5-man wipe, but surprised that they're not trying to do any damage to the core. I think they're doing the utmost safest course, taking no risks.
They have a curse. They have the next curse is theirs.
Yes.
So take the other keep. You have a camp pushing. You know you have every advantage.
Like
get a boss. They're playing completely safe here.
It is super safe, but sometimes, at least the way they say in the StarCraft community, you just have to go kill their base. But I think we're going to see that pretty soon.
Yeah, you know, they're 20, the other team's 18. They have 17 kills to 3. Let's be honest, at this point, it's hard for them to lose. Banshee really... When you're Banshee right now, you're hoping the other team makes a colossal mistake, but you're not counting on it, are you?
No. You're
and see, they're sitting at the objective. Banshee's on the objective. Sorry to interrupt, but so Probe says, we don't care. We're just going straight to your core. We have a boss now.
Yeah. Stay a while to try to keep
and there goes KT. And that's going to be game. Banshee won't be able to stop this. I think there were a number of fights where Banshee was almost turning the tide, and I believe maybe if they can target some things in the next draft, by some things I mean May, I think they've got an opportunity game 2. Good game, well played by both teams, and really it was a clinic put on by ProBUs. Very clean game.
Yep, very strong play. Yes.
There's not a lot else to say. Let's take a look at the stats. Uh, 53,000 damage for Orphea. She leads all, followed by Cassia with 47. Highest hero damage for Banshee was Malthael with 40, just under 40,000. Like I said, he was in there mixing it up, lasting longer than I would have expected, I think, because ProBUs put their target damage on the backliners and then turned on him. Kalthos just behind with 38,000. The siege damage from Falstead, extremely respectable. He got his XP. Blaze was just solid throughout.
Now, another thing that I think they'll need to address is, so the Banshee wanted to get a kill quickly. They wanted to use the Malthael execute.
Right.
He
didn't get an execute kill, did he?
He didn't actually. In the one fight that I saw him really try to use it. Yeah. The Orpheus is such a terror because she's self-sustaining.
Yeah.
Very tough ranged assassin to try to trade into.
Banshee's taking first pick in the second match, by the way.
All right.
So I'm going to pull up the, let's take a look at the map screen and the match screen here. We do not have a map yet that I know of. Let's see.
The lobby, waiting for the lobby.
Waiting for the lobby. We want to join the lobby. Wow. All right. So you're Banshee. What do you do, Trans? Do you let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you an honest question. Do you come out of the game and do you feel like they're better than us, so we need to try something, or do you never have that mentality?
I try to never have that mentality. Every once in a while, you get into the game, you wreck. But sometimes, it's that jitters, it's that first game nerves of the night. Maybe you didn't get a good warm up in. I think it's an opportunity to turn things around in game 2.
So you always believe you tell your team, suck it up. That game's over. They're no better than we are. We know what we're up against, so let's get ready.
Yeah. Like,
all right.
The team is better than, but you can still win. Like,
I'm losing you a bit.
Can you
tell the gerbils to run faster?
There's always an opportunity to win. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. Sorry. Right. Yeah, we're losing you a lot, and I'm trying to not say much unless it's really. But yeah, I think you're back a little bit now.
Cool. Joining that lobby. Baraxis.
Baraxis is the Mapsis. So not a typical, not an outstandingly favorite map, I don't think, for ProBUs. That's not to say it's bad for them. Just it's not notable to me that they picked that one over any other. My guess is that they have something in mind that they want to do with the comp, because they like to roll like that.
Yes. And then there's also, these 2-lane maps involve a lot of brawling, in which it's 4-man versus 4-man, and then it's solo laner versus solo laner. Not to say that ganks can't happen. You can definitely do some cheeky stuff by picking a Genji or a Mike that can get across the map really quick and go for ganks. But I think if you're that you're stomp, that your solo laner is going to stomp, these 2-lane maps are a great map. Like a great, because there's no macro to hide behind on Baraxis. Like, you smash into the other team, you get the camp when they spawn, and if you're better, then you win.
Although again, if I would say this, if like you have a Blaze up there who can run out and grab a camp real quick, that can help you a lot on this map. But really the objective. My gosh, it's gonna come down to the objectives. You have got to. The first one you can get away with. If you lose a second objective, you are really can end up in some trouble. Chat's looking at Cho'Gall coming in.
Ooh,
Chat
that would be
thinks we're
dirty.
gonna see Cho'Gall. We actually just lost on Braxis to a Cho'Gall in our last match. Early we were okay, and then, boy, it just turned real quickly. And we're into the draft, folks. We're into the draft. So, first pick, first ban here is from Banshee, and I really think they have to ban the May.
Unless they want to first pick it.
Unless they want to first pick it. It's true. The ban by pick.
Yes. I don't think that May is a bad pick on this map, but as I mentioned earlier, this is a constant brawl map, and all of May's abilities cost like 1,000 mana. So her sustain, she can live forever, but her mana sustain is not so hot.
I don't understand that. I'm going to come out and say it. I don't understand the ETC ban 2 games in a row. I didn't quite get it the first game, and after, maybe they're going to pick May. Maybe they're going to pick May. So you got Garrosh is gone, ETC is gone. Probes will go into Diablo, I think. If they don't Cho'Gall and you take May away, I think they go straight into Diablo. That's my guess.
Definitely.
Rexar, I mean, he doesn't worry me like he does everybody else, but he's not a bad ban on this map. Tassadar is a good ban on this map. He's a good ban on most any map. They leave May again.
May is open. But I think they take Diablo here over the May. I think Diablo is really strong, and this is an extremely good map for him. Yes.
So many walls.
Diablo doesn't have the mana issues that come with the May.
Unless you're going Cho'Gall, right?
Yes.
And then...
Yeah. There's the May, and same picks as last time.
I don't understand. Trance, I don't understand.
So there's a couple of possibilities. One, free agent team, they could not be experienced with scouting your opponents. Not saying that that's the case, but I mean, there have been games where we didn't come into it doing any pre-scouting, and ETC is a really hard tank to play against. So it could just be a respect ban, like they just don't know how to play against ETC. It's a terror for them. They've decided to just never play against it. That's
yeah. I guess I don't understand why the May isn't banned. I don't get it. And perhaps they feel like that they just didn't play it right and they know how to, and they're going to this time. Maybe they feel like it was that it was more about their composition with mount. I'm sure they have a reason. One thing I know is everybody has a good reason and a smart reason why they do things. But I'm going to admit that I don't understand it. I would feel that Banshee had a better chance if they'd banned that May out.
Definitely.
We'll see.
They did get the Cassia, and Cassia is a very strong sustained damage dealer with some burst potential. She's got that inherent armor. I think that she does really well into May.
The Ana ban is very good. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, and I think Cassia can help against Orphea as well. Sylvanas, Malfurion, very strong picks. A lot of sustained damage.
A lot of CC, a lot of sustained damage.
And that tower disable, which will make
maybe Banshee's going Cho'Gall.
Even more devastating.
Maybe I'm wrong about everything. And they send Cassia top. I mean, it doesn't look like a Cho'Gall comp to me. I'm just saying, I don't know. I like the Sonya pick. I like the Jaina pick. I like those. I like their comp.
And Stitch is so lame. Oh, man. I am excited for this.
What
I have been
preaching. Happening.
I've been preaching the greatness of Stitch's solo lane for a while, my dude. This is a treat.
What?
I love Stitches Lane.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
trust me, it's really good.
No, I know. We just don't we don't see it. It takes some brass ones to pull that out in competitive. This is great. It's very exciting.
Yes. So
do you see? Sorry, Trance. Do you see a better draft here? Do you see like one team where you just say that's a stronger draft on paper?
Oh man, it's tough. So both teams have some really strong wave clear. Both teams have some really strong burst. Good initiate. I think Banshee has 3 different initiate avenues for them, which is a really big positive. But that May is so strong. We'll see.
We will see. On the left side, Fat Banshee in the blue trunks. We have Kian on Sonya, MBB on Johanna, Zagi on Deckard, Jaren on Cassia, and Rekt on Jaina. Rekt played awfully last time, so it looks like we have a role switch there. And who have we got on the right side, Transformer?
On the right side, in the red, we've got 8-Bit playing Stitches, Irby playing Malfurion, Majesty on Sylvanas, Sage playing Orphea, and May is being played by Veggies.
And here we go. And May is already up here getting a little cheeky. Might be looking for something already, a slide in, and yeah, there's the ping.
Yep.
Look for this. Now we've got
Cassia's playing the Q build here rather than the auto attack build, which we saw last game, and so she's going to look to be stacking all game in this constant brawl to get that value.
And what does the stack come from? That comes from her Q ability, you're saying?
Yeah, her lightning bolt. Every hero that she hits, she gets 1.5 damage.
Okay, Jaina gets caught out and drops immediately. Cassia looks like she might fall as well. No, she is able to back out. Okay, so she's got to hit those lightning bolts like that.
Yes.
Yep. She might fall after all. That
armor comes in handy and keeps her alive.
May is deep. And so here's Sonya up here like, what just happened to me? I'm just an off-laner. I'm trying to do my off-laner life, and I'm up here against this guy. May is just kind of getting in the face of Banshee here while her team takes the Bruiser camp.
Yes.
That'll be pushing while the objective's up. It'll give Banshee one more thing to deal with in addition to the point. May is taking some damage now, but her teammates are back, and Jaina's going to fall again. Mobility, right? Jaina positioning critically important, right?
Yes.
You're just not mobile.
Yes, especially against that Orphea that will stick to you like glue. You really need to be at the right place at the right time, always, as Jaina.
Cassia gets chunked down again. Joe with a very nice condemn makes sure she walks away. And Banshee will clear that camp out. And we now have 2 top, so Sonya just falls back to the wall and just stays safe.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be using that haunting wave on that Sylvanas to be extra mobile in this, kind of jumping over walls, being
Sage
sneaky.
getting caught on the Orphea. Sage walked away under 100 hit points there, Trance. Sorry to interrupt you. But that was close. So you're saying Sylvanas just going to like try and be back and forth across the map, and there's the hook, and Sonya falls. Sylvanas is going to use that Wraith, the Banshee ability to just make it around the map faster. Jaina might fall again here. But they turn that around and they get the Orphea, and also right after that, Malfurion. And now suddenly it's 3 kills to 2. You're only a half level behind. You have control of the bottom point. Problem is, you have this big fella up there on the top point. But that's the shot in the arm that Banshee needs.
Yes. And they need to use to do besieging towers, taking a camp, or securing the objective. I think just trying to shore up their lane and get healthy.
Deckard looks for the stun, doesn't quite hit there. And so both teams are just fighting for control of this bottom objective point because top it firmly in the hands of ProBUs with Stitches really just sitting on it. Cassia goes in on Sylvanas.
Now, Sonya's got the top point for now. That gives a little bit of relief to Banshee bottom.
She did. And then
The levels are about even too.
Just in time, because ProBUs managed to fight in and take back the bottom point. Joanna uses the Iron Skin to continue to spar with ProBUs. The damage trade, though, starting to go against the blue team here. Joe's taking a lot of damage, and that Iron Skin is on the longer cooldown now, and she is going to fall. Joe goes in, pokes, tries to put down some damage, but she barely makes it out.
Yeah.
And Probe's back in control, but, well, there goes Stitches to take the top point.
And Sonya's afraid here. She's afraid of the Sylvanas rotation, which is somewhat on its way already. That's why Sonya's not trying to bully the Stitches off that point.
Right. Like I said, you can lose the first objective. The second one really hurts. And they're going to fight back in Banshee. They isolate May, but Cassie's in the back line, has to back up a little bit, and the objective does go to ProBUs. And it looks like the wave for ProBUs is going to push top. So far, they have 3 people staying bottom. It looks like they might do a defense here, Trans, and then just push the wall while the wave does their damage for them top.
Yes. So Sylvanas with the Merqueen and that camp is a big force to be kind of a terror. So they're using their like little 3-man on bottom to clear the wave, keep getting the stuck, and then doing some siege.
Good defense by Banshee, though. Good defense. You lose the wall, you save the fort easily, and you might save a tower in your wall bot. Good defense.
They're maybe a half level behind, but that's no insurmountable.
They're calling to target the Sylvanas. No, it's not. The XP is fine. You're only down 2 kills. You're only down a couple of walls. So far, so good.
Yes.
Getting that stack. Cassie, another one of those stacks. Ding. I only take stack abilities, my friend, because I want to hear those beautiful dings and get that little boot. I want to get those endorphins boosting. Every time it tells me, good job, Geo. Ding.
And now ProBUs is going for their camp. Sonya getting hers.
Oh, look at the invade. I don't know how I feel. Well, I do know how I feel. I don't love this. You have no advantage. You were kind of just doing this because you want to do it, but they chase down and get the Sylvanas, so what do I know? But significant damage, and they do lose the Cassia. Now they're going to lose the Deckard.
I
think they're going to lose a Deckard. I thought they were going to lose a Deckard.
Deckard, the elusive old man, walks out.
If you want to survive, just have me call your death, and you'll be fine. I don't understand how he walked away there, but he did. I don't love that invade call. I feel like that's trying to make something happen instead of taking advantage when something happens. What do you think about that?
So I think that they saw that they were not going to get 10s first, and they wanted to try to get a little extra something before 10s hit. Because if that fight goes right for them, like if they get a kill or 2, they get 10s at the same time, they get a camp, and then they can start pushing into that fort.
But you don't get it just because you want it, right?
Yes,
that's the thing to learn is, just because I want this doesn't mean, what is the reason that fight's going to go great for me? So we got to think that way. Is like, why do I want to boldly walk into enemy territory to take a fight right now? Do I have a good reason?
Yes. Sylvanas is coming back bottom. She was harassing top.
Yeah, so that was a 4v3. Banshee did push back and do a little bit of damage, but ProBUs is now 4v4, so they're going to be fighting back to that point. Stitches in control of the top point at the moment. Sonya, to her credit, has held up there. I think that's just sort of a ice wall comes out and significant damage, and there goes Deckard. Cassie running for her life.
Top.
That's fantastic. Well done. I was just getting ready to say she's played smartly, and that it looked like kind of a push, just sort of an even matchup there, and she gets the kill. That's fantastic. So right when
sneak this camp.
She sure is. So just when Banshee loses 2 bottom and is in a little bit of trouble, their offlaner bails them out a little bit. That buys them some life. But both points now back in control of ProBUs, and that clock is ticking. They're at 75%.
And the levels are so similar. It's important to realize that Banshee has gotten 1 camp all game. This level difference, this half level, is probably entirely mercenaries.
Due to the camps.
Yes.
And another thing to know, though, is camps give you almost as much XP clearing them as they do getting them. So it's important not to overvalue the getting of the camp. Ice Wall comes out, catches 2, and that allows ProBUs to target. Oh, boy. Deckard again. Apparently they remember him walking away, and they're a little upset about that, and the poor old man's getting targeted now. And this is a devastating wall, Trans. This is a devastating wall of enemies here.
Crushing.
Now we have the bulk of ProBUs with the wave. Valkyrie comes out and hits.
Ooh.
And yeah, that didn't work out how Cassia was looking for it to. Sage almost goes down there again under 100 HP, but manages to survive. He's sending a thank you card to Irby. Are they going to look to end here? I think they are. I think if they get one more.
Big third wave, if they get another kill or 2.
They have stitches. They have stitches to soak.
Sonya's trying to clean up.
Veggie's in trouble, though.
Back.
Veggie's in trouble. Sonya spinning to win. Can she get something done here? That's a great stay a while. It's a great stay a while. Sage is a target. Sage is just so slippery on that Orphea. So slippery on that Orphea. Joe wants it, and she does get Orphea. The hook comes in, but 8-Bit, do you really want them there? I don't think you want them closer to you right now. Valkyrie comes in, pulls Stitches back, and I think Stitches will fall. And we have a 4-man wipe, and Sylvanas is up top saying, guys, you okay down there? I'm just going to work on this camp. Guys, I'm just going to take this camp. What do we do now if we're Banshee? They're going for the boss. The objective is not up. That's the right call.
I think that's an effective play. I think that's going to help them de-push lanes.
Plenty of time.
Give them a little bit of presence. Yes.
Plenty of time. It's uncontested. Now you have a chance to take a fort down. I think you have to push with it, Trans. I think you got to try to make sure you get a fort. You have to get a structure down.
Yes.
By the way, Banshee has all of their forts, all of their structures topped. So for the next wave, they have all their structures in place, right?
Yes. Unfortunately, Sylvanas created a brilliant distraction. She's going to cost her life.
Yeah, but I wanted to see them push with that boss bottom so that they open up for the keep on the next wave.
It was a great distraction because if they don't respond to that, that fort dies.
Yeah. And as it is, you don't even get the wall. Yeah, I guess you got the wall, but wow. Yeah, I wanted to see them push that fort. I wanted the structure down there. Nonetheless, look at the kills. Would you believe if I just told you we're even in kills?
Amazing.
And look at the level. Talent to your advantage for Banshee.
16 first. It'll be 16s before the next fight.
Of course, yeah.
With this wall open top, I think they need to try to take that fort down.
I want to see. I want to see Banshee roam as 5 now. I know it's early.
I completely agree. I think their 5-man team fight is much stronger.
Here we go. Here we go. They're down as 5. Just listen, you might fall a little bit behind on XP, but if you're getting the kills, you'll get it back. Stitches does come down as well, so this is a 5v5. And once again, the ice wall isolates
Banshee,
my goodness. But they are turning this. They drop
What
Sylvanas and
anything.
Orphea faster than I can speak, and then Jaina goes down. But that trade, once again, is in favor of Banshee, and they
They
are
can take
back
that fourth,
on it.
right?
Sonya needs to grab that objective. I hope they push for that fourth. The first priority is the objective. Sonya just get it, and she's spinning back in. She's a difference maker, is she not? How did
For sure.
How did the Sylvanas and Orphea go down? Was that the Sonya? I honestly didn't see it. I saw the ice wall. I thought there was trouble for Banshee, and suddenly two heroes drop.
I saw a big scoop from the Joe and a Blessed Shield connect. And I think Sparks flew at that point. Cassia's got that piercing lightning at level 16, so all of her damage hits multiple targets.
Mei awfully greedy here. I think May's going to pay for that. I know she's tanky, but she's going to fall here.
Oh, yeah, with the ability
Except
down.
that I just said she was going to fall here, so now she's not. And Banshee this time does get out of the Orphea ult, but they do take Mei. However, they lose 2 heroes to do it. And Deckard is going to fall as well, and that's 3 heroes. So, whoa, boy, that turned quickly.
Ooh, yeah.
That's Mei for you. You have her, she's standing there, she's dead to rights. Any other hero would have been down in half that time. And Banshee well in control. And suddenly... And Sonya, I guess, didn't get the memo and she drops top. I was looking for her on the map and she was under 3 icons for ProBUs. Now, if I'm ProBUs, I guess they're gonna wait for the wave. Why not? Why not wait for the wave? Look at the beacons. Wait for the wave. You can either go to bottom and just, counter push, or you can just go in with the wave.
And I think they go in with the wave. It's a lot of damage scaling in this point of the game.
Yep. Look for a kill early as the wave, comes in. Your Mei is trailing a little bit. So they're not getting greedy. They're being patient. And Banshee sees what was going in their favor in one fight, turns it right back around. Can they mount another defense like we saw with that first wave? Veggie's getting very aggressive. Sonya diving into the wave. And we do see Mei fall. Sonya manages to get out. Jaina trying to drop damage.
Deckard is unkillable.
That defense by Banshee again, when it looked like they couldn't possibly stop them.
They're getting the bottom keep.
They are. That wave pushed unopposed, and they now have a victory condition lane. They're not in terrible shape. They've got to get 20 right away.
Oh yeah.
Got to get 20 right away because the ProBUs is going to get it and they're going to come looking for you. So you want to safe soak as quickly as you can. That wave is still going. What's happening? Still a couple of Zerglings running around trance. Come on. All right,
now,
20 for ProBUs.
Holding the Zerg wave alive until their last player was up. Respawn.
Oh, high-level stuff I never would have thought of. All right, camp clear. You are just about 65, 70%. Do not take that boss fight, Banshee. Walk away. Walk away, Banshee. Walk away from the camp, Banshee. You don't want this. ProBUs wants to fight you. You don't want to fight Banshee. ProBUs is going to take that camp. They want the fight. If Banshee gives it to them, they want the fight. If Banshee doesn't, Mei spots him. The hook is in, and that could be trouble. Secures the Johanna. She does manage to walk out. That's huge. And look at the damage that just got dropped. Was that the Cassia?
It was the combination of the Cassia Lightnings and that big Jaina Blizzard that just it's like a truck.
Tremendous. That really saved their tail, and they're looking at the boss. They just were checking it out. They're going to clear bot, and that'll get them to 20, and then it's anybody's game. I mean, the next team fight, this is every bit as much Banshees as Probes. They're absolutely in this, folks. We now have 20s on both sides. And this next team fight will decide. We've seen these fights go both ways. I would say every time I think a fight is won by one team, the other team ends up coming out ahead.
Yeah. And so Jaina's got that big power spike at level 20. Her water elemental will now do half the same spells as she does. Johanna took the Blessed Shield upgrade. So she didn't take the Save Your Life. She's going for the big Initiate to try to get that big pop on a hero.
Why not?
Yep. Now Deckard took Infinite Pots rather than the Respect the Elderly, the level 20 upgrade.
How do you feel about that?
I think the level 20 upgrade is what they need. I think that big Silence and Blind on the Initiate, that wins team fights. I don't think any team fight will be sustained long enough for Infinite Pots to get value here.
All right.
Oh,
yeah, I can see the thought process over the objective points, right? Is you get to just lay out those pots around the objectives. I get the thought process, but his stay-a-whiles have been absolute money in these fights. Look at both teams setting up for the ganks. Look at both teams.
We just sitting there. They know that they have an advantage. They can wait the entire game if they want it in a bush.
Absolutely.
Because they have more katas.
Absolutely. Although.
Oh, and the hook.
The hook is in.
Hook on the
and it's Cassia. And she falls. That is going to be really tough to come back from. Joe is trying to walk out, but she falls too. And Trans, I think that's game.
I don't see how it
goes down too. That's got to be game. Jaina trying to take out Malfurion just desperately. She'll fall as well, and that's going to be game. Fantastic job by Banshee. Fantastic job by Banshee.
Yeah, way to come. I mean, sticking with it in that game. They were down no structures to everything.
And
right?
And fantastic job by ProBUs, the victor.
Yeah.
So, I'm saying congratulations to the loser, but ProBUs is just, again, so quick. They're so fast, Transformer. They're so fast. You just suddenly, everything's going your way, and then you're done.
Yeah,
those
the momentum,
Stitches hooks.
They know how to ride that wave for sure.
GG, well played. Well done. Wow.
I never would have believed if you told me that game was going to last as long as it did. That was such a... They clawed their way. They wanted
Absolutely
to fight for that game.
So I'm taking a look at the stats, and I'm going to reach out and see if 8-Bit wants to send anybody over for a quick interview. Anything stand out to you in the stats?
I mean, Orphea teed off as usual. Her
Right.
damage is so safe. It's so consistent, and it offers a lot of burst. No surprises on the Orphea damage at all.
And the way she would just dance and avoid the final blow, right? They'd have her down to nothing, and she'd just sidestep and hammer them. I mean, just feels like you're fighting against a cobra who's just coiled up and striking, right? And every time you try to flank, they're right there.
Yes, 100%.
We've got 8-Bit joining us in a moment. We have Majesty.
Hi.
How are you? I don't...
Good, how are you?
So, Transformer, if you can... let me go back and grab my caster, because...
No problem.
I switched. I'm in the interview room, Trans, right below the match lounge, over in the Heroes Lounge Discord.
Heroes Lounge.
Yeah. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. I do this all the time. I'll just apologize because I start at the end. Did they have you sweating a little bit in that game too?
Yeah, we sweated a little bit. It looked sketch for a little bit.
Couple of those fights, I thought they really showed some moxie and came back, but I just described you folks. Well, I described Orphea as, and I think the whole team could be described as a cobra, where you feel like you're okay, and then suddenly you can't even see it, and it just strikes. And that's how I feel about you guys. My mouth does not move quickly enough to cast you. So, that being said, and congratulations to you. Let's go back and let's talk first about game one. Game one was a clinic match. It's hard to think of much to ask you or to talk about. The Orphea, in particular, they got exactly what they wanted from you folks in a team fight. Lined you up, got some CC out, and Orphea saw them lined up, dropped her ult, and just absolutely devastated 4 of them. Do you remember that fight that I'm talking about?
You talking about the very last team fight?
It might have been. It was nearer to the end.
Yeah, they landed like a big 4-man sleep too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then we all just hopped in bunker. That's how we dealt with that.
And
You all fell asleep.
Fell asleep in the bunker.
We all fell asleep, and then KT was going for like the living bombs, which would have killed us, but we had bunker to remove them, and that was really the big thing in that last fight there. I think the biggest thing in game one was like we got that first top boss, and we thought that they for sure were going to do bot boss, and we just had to constantly check it, and they thought we were going to be on it, so they were constantly checking it, and nobody was actually doing it at all.
Right.
Like, that was probably the most chaotic thing in game one.
Is that where you had... go ahead, Trance.
Were you ever concerned about that Falstad trying to shove you off of bosses? Or did you feel like you were in control having the Mei?
We were concerned about that, and if you actually go back and watch the one bot boss we took, you'll actually notice that as soon as we got it, like as soon as the boss died, Blaze instantly bunkered to give himself the unstoppable in case he went for it.
Yeah.
And then we were spread out, so like I had instant mount, so like it would have been a race between me and him to the point, and then once my tanks could walk back from the guts, like we were prepared for it. It was a concern, but we felt like we were prepared to deal with it.
Right.
That's
great answers in the draft.
That's where Trans spots are things that I don't. Things like, I think this is high level play versus not as high level play, where things like the bunker that's lunchbox work, right? That's blue collar work that isn't sexy and doesn't necessarily stand out and is absolutely winning you fight after fight, right? And that requires you all playing around it. You can't just have somebody take Blaze, throw it on a bunker if the rest of the team doesn't look for it, if it's not coordinated. I imagine your comms are real solid, that you know it's coming. And
Apit's really good about just calling it, and then we know to look for it. I'm always of the mind that I'm not a Blaze main by any means of the stretch. I've never been an offlane main while he's meta, at least. So I get the idea that sometimes it feels bad when nobody gets in bunker, especially if teammates die after not getting a bunker. So anytime there's a bunker drop, even if I don't need it, I usually hop in bunker to fire off one fire stream at least.
Bunker for
and
friendship.
And it gives me armor too. Yeah.
And it's free armor.
Yeah.
Like 25 armor for free for doing nothing.
Even if I don't need it, I get it. So I have to ask, were you surprised that Mei got through the draft to you and to your team in the second game?
We were more surprised that Orphea got through.
Yeah.
We think that they might not have considered it on that map as much, but we were more looking for that ban, and we were going to ban the Rexar, and then they banned it, so then we got to ban the TAS again, which was nice.
The Stitches! The Stitches off.
Stitches solo lane.
That's a Majesty special right there.
If you look at it again, the stuff that's obvious to me, few of those hooks really just set you guys in great positions.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially the last one.
It was blind, right? You just went
we were just checking
bush,
every
right?
Bush, and Yeah, we were just checking every bush, and we were alternating between Mayq and a hook to check bushes.
And it
was
happened
like,
to get
they have
Cassie.
to be in a bush, so it was just like, there was Cassie and Johanna in there. We got lucky to just grab the squishier one.
Yeah, if it's Joe, she might unstoppable and walk out. but you got
Blessed
Cassia. And,
Shield, Contempt too would have been terrible, but
yep. But you got Cassia. You got in a blind hook. So in that case, you say, "Oh, I wasn't blind at all. I knew she was there. It's all skill."
well, we knew they were in a bush, so
Yeah.
eventually we knew we were gonna hit something.
You were fishing. I mean, you were.
Yeah.
So and yeah,
but the pick in general, like of Stitches into the off lane, was something that when 8-Bit first moved to the off lane for this team, we spent like 2 hours practicing different matchups, and at the end I was like, "Hey, there's something I want you to try," and he goes, "What is it?" I'm like, "I want you to see if you can handle Stitches off lane." And this is before they added the 50% bonus to his wave clear.
oh, so you're really asking him to go out on a limb. That's trust.
I mean, even at that point, he still had decent wave clear because Slam isn't too bad, baseline even, but his auto attacks also cleave and do dot on everything.
Right.
So like his wave clear is okay, but the important part was like there's almost no solo laners that can kill him. So if you just get on the point first, you eventually get it. And we were testing, so we tested the Sonya. We knew that it beat the Sonya. We tested Mothiel. Mothiel runs out of mana before he can even get to the point where he can use his ult to kill him.
Wow.
If you just invest purely into healing, like basically by like 7 or 13, he wins almost or ties every matchup. And so it's a nice thing. We had that ready to go.
Yeah, Trans got really excited. Go ahead, Trans.
Yes. So I've been teaching Stage's solo lane for a long time. I used to be our solo lane player for AOL. And so like the being able to tie a lane is huge on Baraxis, especially with that Sylvanas pick. I thought that was so clever because normally it's like Maiev or Genji, like these, sexy heroes that people pick that like aren't super meta, but like Sylvanas obviously can also jump the wall. Like she has Haunting Wave. And I thought like the rotation for the gank always kept them on the back foot. I thought it was brilliant.
After I did it the first time, I went up there and then I just hid in that bush and did it a second time before leaving even. You notice anytime the bottom side wasn't directly fighting, Sonya wouldn't even go to the point anymore. Like she was just that scared, and that worked a lot in our favor. The other reason for the Sylvanas pick was to let Orphea not have to wave clear as much, so she could use her abilities more on heroes, and then obviously the pushing power as well, which is better than the other routine options there.
Yep, the Merc Queen with those AoE camps were really, really strong with the push.
So you go to 6 wins, and you don't play Randy Newmans. Everybody would have liked to have seen you play Randy Newmans.
Hopefully the group C. No, we'll just have to wait for the bracket.
Yeah. So you go to 6 wins, which puts you tied right there. I'm trying to look at with the map score. I think you are a game ahead. I think you come in second place ahead of Randy Newman. They play Los Popachos.
You'll be close, yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to be at 9 on the map score, and they're at 8. So you'll be in second place. Doesn't really matter, right? You guys are right all in there, and they play Los Popachos. You have your last game is against Cho'Gall's Angels.
Cho'Gall's Angels.
So, I mean, you're going into the playoffs. You want to see Los Popa again, don't you?
Yeah. We had an off night that night, and it led us to having like an entire off week. Tonight was our first winning night in a while, actually. Especially me and Arby's have just been on losing streaks. But things just lined up today. We all came into it and said, today's the day. We're going to turn around our losing streak. And we played well. I fed. I did my key strategy of feed till you win. Majesty special. Feed until you win.
That's what we all saw. I have to tell you, it's hard to describe this, but watching you play, you can see confidence, and it shouldn't be possible in a video game. But I feel like I can hear your comms. I feel like in every action you're taking is measured and confident, and you know what you want to do. It's really something to watch. So congratulations to you. Truly, truly good game, well played. You're in great position in the draft, and I can't wait to see. I know you still got one round left. I know you're not going to look past that, but I'm already looking toward the playoffs. And I think we're in for some really fantastic matches in the playoffs from you folks and some of the other teams in the top of the division there.
I haven't paid attention to see who in Div 4 is going to be making it too, because the two Div 3, Div 4 play together in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not sure either. So now I have to ask you, can I promote something? Can I say something about maybe a night next week? Or is that on the DL?
It's not on the DL, but because it's from it's for another league, I'd say.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
More for the Heroes Lounge rules than our.
Let's just say, folks, like, follow, subscribe, and comment below.
More stuff coming next week.
You might see other action. Well, that's a non. That's a unaffiliated friendly. I'll say that.
That's true. Yeah, it's a scrim.
Unaffiliated friendly. So, well, listen. Congratulations again. Very fun to watch.
Looking forward to rewatching it.
You guys are rolling. I'll have it up on the YouTubes by tomorrow. And thanks for your time. Anything else, Trans? I ended up taking over the interview, and you have much more intelligent stuff to say and to ask. Have you got more questions for Madge?
No, you're good.
All right, fantastic. Madge, we appreciate it very much.
Thank you for the cast. Thank you and Transformers.
It's our pleasure.
Sure.
Best wishes to you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Now get the hell out of the channel. Actually, I had to mute somebody last night. Somebody thought it would be funny to pop in here and start saying some dumb crap, and then I realized I have mute abilities, which is nice. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Stay tuned. Monday night there will be a cast of a friendly. I'll give more details on my Discord. And Trans, it's a pleasure. It was a pleasure. It's good to have you. We're going to have to figure something out about your mic or your internet.
I know.
Your contribution was fantastic. Whenever I could hear you, it was brilliant. It was probably smart when I couldn't hear you. A little bit of business to catch up on to all the wonderful viewers out there. I would like to say thank you again to Rip the Jacker for the subscription. Is Tutor Pooter? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for allowing me to say that out loud. Noah SC2, thanks for the follow. Kubico, thanks for the follow. Arby's, much love. Thanks for the sub. I appreciate it as much as I do not deserve it. And folks, quick note, this weekend I will be getting on, I don't know when, I'll be getting on and just screwing around playing some games. I don't know what games. I turned 50 years old yesterday, and I will celebrate my 50th birthday over the weekend by giving you fine folks Steam keys. There's no catch. There's no nonsense about that you have to sign up for anything, whatever. I've done this before. Anyone who knows me can tell you. I just buy some keys in bulk, down from little, games that cost $1.50 up to games that cost, I think the most expensive game is $40 on Steam. So, that's casual stuff, but if you feel like tuning in, you have been earning points. Did you know that, Trans? Did you know you earn points?
I did know that I earned points.
So, it doesn't work for me, but if you do points, you'll see how many points you have, and we raffle off these game keys, and we just want to have some fun, and I want to show everybody how much I appreciate them. And so, if you feel like it and have the time, check it out. Thanks, Ronan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and happy birthday, man. I did not know that you turned ancient.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I made it. I'm halfway to 100, so I just got...
All right.
Got 49 years, 364 days more to go. So,
nice.
Please, guys, if you have the time, and ladies, guys meaning like people, if you have the time, join me. I'd love to give you a game. I think that's it. Now I'm just talking to hear the sound of my own voice. Trans, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
You too, everybody. Peace.